This is CBC Here and Now.
The fears of the airports are just as bad as well. A lot of people in the family disagree what's the best option for us, whether to come home or to avoid the airport and just stay inside.
This Mount Pearl man is in the middle of the corona crisis, and he worries for his young family, his own poor health, and his colleagues.
The Port of Argentia is serving notice that it wants to become a bigger player in the province's offshore oil and gas industry. I'm Terry Roberts, and I'll have that story coming up on Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Anthony Germain. Tonight we begin with a Newfoundlander in China. A Mount Pearl man and his family are in the midst of an international health crisis. Chris Walsh lives in a northern city that is now treating people from Wuhan, the center of what the World Health Organization now calls a global health emergency. And what's worse, Walsh is sick, and a trip to the hospital brings its own set of risks.
That was scary in itself because it's a lose-lose situation. If I don't have it, I could contract it while I'm there, and I was so weak. My wife, I tried to tell her I could go alone, but I really couldn't. Especially with my Chinese skills are good, but really not that good to be in a medical situation on my own. So I was really scared to put my wife in that situation, and then again our son if we catch it. Then when I was in line, there were Wuhan people in line right ahead of me. So it's very dangerous.
When I was mentioned today, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak a global health emergency.
The main reason for this declaration is not because of what is happening in China, but because of what is happening in other countries. Our greatest concern is the potential for the virus to spread to countries with weaker health systems and which are ill-prepared to deal with it.
Now, the WHO declaration brings more money and resources to the fight against the coronavirus, and it imposes more disease reporting requirements on countries around the world. Earlier today, China announced a sharp rise in the number of people affected. 170 killed, and now about 8,000 people with the virus, and an additional 12,000 suspected cases. The coronavirus has already infected more people in China than SARS did. At least 18 other countries now have confirmed coronavirus cases. WHO officials say a vaccine is in development. Well, countries around the world are now quarantining people returning home from Wuhan to prevent any further spread of the virus. In Italy, officials are taking precautions much further. About 6,000 people were held on board a cruise ship docked near Rome, this because of a Chinese passenger who was ill. The woman from Macau, not Wuhan, boarded the ship 5 days ago and then developed fevers and breathing problems. She and her husband were held in isolation on the ship until test results came in late today, proving that she did not have coronavirus. Now, a little more on this, as I mentioned, Chris Walsh, the man you saw off the top of Here and Now. He's originally from Mount Pearl. He recently moved to China to be closer to his wife's family, and we'll have more of my conversation with him coming up in about 30 minutes on Here and Now.
Well, all good things must come to an end, and my time with CBC Labrador has come to an end. I will speak with Anthony about my time here in Labrador with the CBC coming up on Here and Now.
We've been in a quiet, albeit unsettled weather pattern for the last couple of days. We do have some flurries making their way across parts of the Avalon. Could pick up a quick few centimeters as we head through the next few hours. It's going to be quiet until we head into the beginning of the weekend, and then we've been talking about this system moving in both Sunday and continuing through the day on Monday. I have a little bit more of an idea of what's going to happen, so I'll have all those details coming up.
Convicted but released. A man who abused two of his former girlfriends was in court today. I'll have that story coming up on Here and Now.
Argentia is already considered one of the finest ports in Atlantic Canada, and now that port which has a rich military history, is looking to build on its reputation by becoming a bigger player in the province's growing offshore oil and gas industry. Here now is Terry Roberts with that story.
The Navy ships, airplanes, and most of the buildings are long gone. But the natural assets that made Argentia such an appealing location for the U.S. Navy decades ago remain. A sheltered, ice-free commercial port with deep water, year-round access for every kind of shipping, with plenty of flat, waterfront land. With a fully developed industrial site, it's already an active commercial port. But the people who run Argentia believe its full potential has not yet been tapped, and the key to future growth may lie beneath the ocean.
If the industry is growing, there must be a role for Argentia in it because the advantages are so compelling.
The provincial government wants to double oil production, and an aggressive exploration program by some of the world's biggest oil companies could make that a reality. This would mean a bigger demand for shoreline services.
What we're trying to develop is the possibility of having a facility, an offshore base where it can be used with priority or exclusive use by the offshore industry.
The port wants to double the size of its docking facilities, a vision that would require a hefty $50 million investment. There'll be a feasibility study, then a search for government and private partnerships to get it done.
I can see Argentia playing a major role in the offshore industry.
As expected, the town of Placentia is on board.
Everybody's looking for ways to diversify your economy within your community, and this would certainly do that for the town of Placentia and certainly help bring people back into the community, build our numbers, grow our tax base. Argentia means everything for Placentia. I mean, Argentia is the one that's the driving force, the economic driving factor of the town.
Argentia has already demonstrated its value to oil companies. Husky's massive West White Rose concrete gravity structure is under construction.
They're having great success on the site. They're able to capture the workforce that they need to carry out this activity, and so that demonstrates that this is a good logical place to consider for some of their future activities.
Terry Roberts, CBC News, Argentia.
With some scary moments on board a fishing vessel at sea yesterday, the Newfoundland Lynx was 100 kilometers at sea off St. Anthony when a fire broke out. Now, the owner, Ocean Choice International, says fire and emergency personnel on the ship reacted quickly and they managed to get the fire out. The Lynx arrived in port around 1 o'clock this morning, and by then the only sign of the fire was some residual smoke. Ocean Choice says it notified families to let them know that everybody was safe. There's no word yet on the cause of that fire. Well, a suspended school principal in Conception Bay South is heading to trial. Robin McGraw, principal at Admiral's Academy, is said to have used excessive force on 4 students who have special needs. He's charged with 4 counts of assault. Now, in court this morning, both sides agreed on a 5-day trial set to begin in late May. Now, it's expected that McGraw will argue he acted appropriately under a section of the law that allows teachers to use reasonable force when, quote, correcting a student. The youngest child was in kindergarten, the oldest in grade 6, and each had behavioral or learning disabilities. Well, he abused them, manipulated them, and left physical and emotional scars. Today, Kevin Evans was handed jail time after admitting to beating 2 ex-girlfriends. But as Ariana Kellen reports tonight, Evans is a free man.
He didn't show up, instead choosing to appear by video from jail. His ex-partners, however, did. This is the Kevin Evans the 2 women thought they were dating. A kind, welcoming smile, but with a temper that wasn't controlled. Lindsay Plank moved to Newfoundland with 29-year-old Evans in 2018. She soon faced beatings, accusations of cheating, and relentless name-calling, choked to unconsciousness. Today, Evans admitted to abusing her, but 2 charges were dropped in the process, whittled down to 3 charges of assault.
It's a little frustrating for the fact that I know they are separate times and matters, so to me they should have been all put through, but at this point he has pled guilty to some of them, and I guess that's better than none of them at this point, because if it did go to trial, who knows, the whole thing could have been thrown out, so some is better than none.
After Lindsay Plank, Evans moved on to other women. Another case of violence, punching, controlling what she wore, who she talked to. For that, he pleaded guilty too. The judge accepted a recommendation from lawyers on both sides. Evans is already in jail, but will serve 18 months on probation, 6 wearing an ankle monitor. Though Judge Mike Madden says he appears to be the biggest danger to the women he tries to date next.
Definitely a lot of mental and physical on my body. I definitely gonna have to take some time to get myself back into a better mindset.
But despite all that, Kevin Evans will be released from prison today on time served. He's been in HNP since the summer of 2019. But this isn't the last time that you'll hear about him. He has another case in Ontario, accused of assault and sexual assault against another ex-girlfriend. Ariana Kellen, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, the province is still working out the details of a pilot project that would help some people deal with big bills for unpaid fines. The new program will allow them to do community work to settle their debts for things like traffic tickets. Officials had hoped the program would roll out last fall. Well, now they're aiming for the spring. Outstanding traffic fines, parking tickets, and contraband tobacco fines are a $43 million problem for the province. Well, a man from Ontario says he had a great time being storm-stuck and forced to stay in St. John's last week, but the fun times came to an abrupt halt when he went to return his rental car at the airport. And he was surprised to discover the brutal blizzard resulted in a brutal bill, and he's getting fed up with the company's response.
Derek Wilkins arrived Thursday morning in the calm before the storm. He went here first to rent a car. A few hours later, the blizzard of the century erupted and buried that car in snow. No vehicles were allowed on the roads. Stores were closed. The airport, too, was shut down. Wilkins made the best of it.
It was my first time to Newfoundland, so I got to meet all the neighbors shoveling and got to have lots of dinners with nice people that I helped out. So it was actually quite an enjoyable trip considering I was an extra 4 or 5 days.
The car was due back Saturday, but the airport didn't open until Tuesday. So that's when Wilkins tried to return the car. His estimate of $134 had gone up to more than $300. Despite the state of emergency, he was charged for a full week.
The airport was closed and so was your office. Even if I brought it back Saturday morning, there was no one there to accept it. Mm-hmm. So you're charging me for days that you couldn't have actually made a profit on. I was stranded like the rest of the essentially province was, and you're trying to financially gain off that.
Enterprise tells CBC that each problem during the state of emergency was handled on a case-by-case basis. They say Wilkins agreed to take a $100 credit, something he says only happened after he complained to the manager. A representative for the company now says they'll reach out to Wilkins to see what else they can do for him.
All I feel is charge me the amount that I booked for originally and nothing more. I didn't have it any days that they could have used that car for anybody else, so I feel my original charges should be what I'm charged.
Despite the storm and the rental car kerfuffle, Wilkins says it wasn't enough to put a damper on his trip. He's still planning a return with his family this summer. Ryan Cook, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, as we mentioned last night, one grocery store chain is getting in early on the province's plastic bag ban. Starting midnight tonight, Sobeys cashiers won't be bagging your shopping in plastic. The CBC's Cease Hare swung by one St. John's location, and he has this report.
The iconic and ubiquitous Sobeys bag will soon become a thing of the past. At the end of this business day, these are gone, and starting tomorrow at Sobeys, you either buy your own or bring your own.
Sobeys is making the change in an effort to reduce single-use plastics in its stores. It also wanted to get ahead of legislation in this province that starts July 1st, banning the bags. Customers applaud the move.
It shows that people are finally taking stock of, the environment, realizing that there's just too much garbage around, too much, as I said, going into the landfills. Yeah, I think it's a great thing.
I think it's great. I haven't used plastic bags in about a year and a half now.
Why is that?
Those hold more. The plastic bags break walking home full of groceries. They don't.
You're a fan of these, I take it?
Oh, I am. I love the plastic, the reusable bags. They're perfect.
Others look forward to the return of the brown paper bag for nostalgic reasons.
Well, I'll use the reusable ones, of course. Yes, yes, yes. But I love the paper ones just the same. Makes me think about old times.
I never remember to bring my bags in out of the car. So that's a problem. I'm going to have to try to remember to bring my bags in out of the car.
And if you also forget, you've got options. The stores will continue to sell reusable bags.
We're offering our customer a 10-cent paper bag. We're also offering a reusable bag, which is 99 cents. We're also offering a green t-shirt bag for 25 cents, which can be washed up to 13 times and then reused.
Proceeds from the sale of the bags will go toward planting trees across Canada. Ryan doesn't anticipate much grief from customers because many have asked for this, she says, and half of them bring reusable bags anyway. Cease here, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, Sobeys' move comes just as Canada has moved a step closer to banning single-use plastics. Environment Canada and Health Canada released a draft report confirming certain plastics cause harm, and the department says there is justification for action.
This forms the scientific basis for the government to move to the next step, which is to look at regulating under the Canadian Environmental Protection Act, bringing into place a ban on harmful single-use plastics as part of a comprehensive plan to address the issue of plastic pollution in Canada.
Now, the report says plastic production has increased at a faster rate than any other material, and it estimates that nearly 3 million tons of plastic ended up in the environment in 2016, and that's 12 times as much as was recycled. The report says existing science shows that macroplastics, things like bags and bottles, are harmful. They're slow to break down and they can injure and kill wildlife. The report calls for further study on the impact of microplastics. Well, we're going to head to Labrador now on a sad note for those of us who work on Here and Now. Our reporter in the big land is moving on. Jacob Barker has been the face of our Labrador coverage for 4 years, and we've reached him, as you can see, as he's packing up to leave for a new job. So Jacob, I could see the roof rack. Where are you heading?
Yeah. Well, I'm heading about 2,500 kilometers southwest. I'm going to Windsor, Ontario.
Windsor.
I'm staying with the CBC, but I'm going to Windsor.
Okay, so at least you're still part of the family, but off to Ontario we go. Well, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
And when you look back, you know, and I was sort of thinking of your stories, you've shot and you've performed such a range of stories, some beautiful ones, some sad ones, happy ones, a very broad spectrum of emotions. What are some of the ones that stand out for you?
Yeah, it's been an awesome experience to be able to shoot here in Labrador just because there's so many different things that happen here. There's such a variety. I think Kane's Quest, which everybody's getting amped up for, and it's kind of a bummer to be walking away right before that happened because it's always such an exciting thing to cover. The last time we did it, we went from the starting line, we chased racers, we went to Churchill Falls, we went up to Nain, back to Goose Bay, and man, this place is just pumping whenever Kane's Quest is going, and I'm really sad that I'm not going to be here for that. Another big one that I can think of is the Mud Lake floods. People were being evacuated from the community, and I ran out to the airport and I got all the reaction there, and that's a story that still details happening about that today.
Right.
And of course, eyes on the river as always here in Happy Valley Goose Bay. One part of my job that I've really valued is being in a small community or in the small communities of Labrador. And I'll never forget a story that I told about Arias Benowin. He's a young hockey player from Sheshashi who I guess was raising some eyebrows down south, playing in a lot of tournaments. And he wanted a little extra challenge, so he wanted to be able to compete here in Happy Valley Goose Bay. And he wasn't able to because of residency rules in the league. And then a few days later, somebody volunteered their place for him to be able to move into the community during the season and have an address here and be able to compete on that level.
Right.
And I'll just never forget that story because one, it made a difference, and two, it's just such a reflection of the community.
And I have to say, from my end in St. John's, watching you grow as a journalist and as a shooter, it's been amazing to watch your progress, and we're really going to miss you. But my last question, you know, being in Labrador as a video journalist, you're kind of like a lone wolf, right? You don't have to put up with a lot of interference from the desk. You can pick your stories. What are you going to miss the most about working in Labrador?
Yeah, I've been a remote journalist now here in Labrador for 4 years, and before that in the Northwest Territories for 3.5. And this is kind of like a big change. I started in the West in Vancouver. I went to the North. I came out to the East, and now I'm going all the way to the South. So I'm able to sort of complete that circle. But leaving the North, I got to say, is really hard. I really love it here. You know, I went out ice fishing with some friends over the weekend. My Skidoo is sold, and it's just really sad to say goodbye to what this place has to offer, because it has a lot to offer, and I'm going to miss it.
Well, we're going to miss you too, as I mentioned. Not quite done, though. We've got one more Jacob Barker story that we're going to air tomorrow night. Quickly, what's it about?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to give away too much, but there is a rusty car down in the valley. Here in town, the part of the town they call the Valley, and it was pointed out to me by our executive producer Peter Gullidge. He said, "Get to the bottom of what that rusty car is all about," and everything has a story to tell, and so that's the last story I'm going to tell.
Okay, rusty car. You're still young though and limber. We're going to miss you, as I mentioned. Listen, all the best of luck in Windsor. They're lucky to get you, Jacob. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Anthony. Thanks everybody.
This weather update is brought to you by the NL 511 app. Know before you go. Check road conditions, highway cameras, and the provincial plow tracker with the NL 511 app.
You may have noticed I wasn't here for the last couple of nights. I was in Halifax, where they have sidewalks and cyclists, but it was cold, so I was glad to get back here. It was minus 13 or something like that.
Yeah, you guys got all the cold weather over there.
Yeah.
Got all the mild
So I was
weather here.
happy to come back. Was it 2 or so? Minus 2, minus 1?
Minus 1 today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Reached a high near minus 1 today. Yeah, no, it's been pretty much sitting there since you left, really, with those temperatures, and they're going to stay there at least for another day.
Okay.
Let's take a look. Well, parts of the island will anyway. Here's where we were sitting for most of the island, minus 5 for Deer Lake. So really in those minus single digits, mild, relatively mild compared to what's been happening in the overnight for Lab West, minus 12 today, and minus 11 for Happy Valley Goose Bay. Now taking a look at the satellite and radar, it was a generally gray day today. We did see a few peaks of sun in the mix for parts of the island, and then some cloud cover up through Labrador as well. But we are seeing some flurry activity for the Avalon right now. That'll continue for the next few hours, or at least the next hour or so, picking up a few centimeters into the evening hours. But that will move off late evening, and we should actually see some clearing skies for the majority of the island, partly cloudy skies anyway. Some flurries continuing for parts of the Big Land, especially along the coast, and then for central areas as well. And then as we head towards the morning hours, early morning hours, we'll start to see that snow redevelop, or at least potential for some light snow to redevelop along the west coast. So picking up a couple more centimeters again by the time tomorrow morning rolls around. Here's your temperatures tonight, dipping to about minus 7 for St. John's, northwesterlies 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. So winds will be a little bit breezy tonight. Not so much on the west coast. You're looking at some light winds out of the west, generally 15 kilometers per hour. Another cool night for Lab City, down to minus 21. And then again, have that potential for some flurries in there for the next few hours, and then we should see some clearing skies. That's the case up through Nain as well, sitting around minus 15. Now tomorrow's going to stay unsettled. We should actually see some sun for central and eastern portions of the island in the morning, and then the potential for snow or freezing drizzle will redevelop again tomorrow, again along the west coast as well as central areas of the Big Land, and then along the coast through the day. Lab West, it's going to be pretty quiet, maybe a few flurries, but overall just a mix of sun and cloud. And then again, going to hang on to that potential for some flurries and or light snow across the island. Eventually we'll see some clearing into Saturday. That's going to set up actually a pretty nice Saturday for us. So here's where we're sitting temperature wise. They will drop a few degrees through the day tomorrow. Minus 5 for St. John's, minus 6 for Clarenville, Marystown, sitting around minus 3 tomorrow. Again, those winds will be brisk anywhere across the island, anywhere from gusts from 40 to about 60 kilometers per hour expected, generally out of the northwest through the day. Grand Falls winds are about minus 5, same for Gander, and then heading towards the coast, similar temperatures. So really, you haven't been moving much at all temperature-wise. Minus 5 for Stephenville. There's your winds again, northwesterlies 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Up for the northern peninsula, St. Anthony should actually see plenty of sunshine tomorrow, minus double digits, though that's the case up through Cartwright as well. Potential for a few flurries, nothing much. Happy Valley Goose Bay minus 10, and Lab City sitting at minus 13 again. So as we head closer to the weekend, I've been talking about how the models aren't agreeing on what's going to happen Sunday and Monday. They're starting to come into line, so I'll give you a little bit of an idea about what that's going to be. Anthony?
Thanks, Ashley. Well, staying with the weather, criticism tonight over how that major blizzard was handled. One safety expert says there needed to be better coordination and better communication. Peter Cowan joins us live from our newsroom now. So, Peter, what does this expert have to say?
Anthony, I talked with Len Larich, who runs Safety NL, and he's an expert about how organizations and municipalities should prepare and execute when it comes to emergencies like this. And he said there were two things, as someone who was on the sidelines, that needed to be addressed. One was communication and one was coordination. Now, each municipality was left to call their own states of emergency, and all the talking came from politicians. Larich said he wanted to hear from disaster experts, the people who are the ones on the ground actually coordinating things. And he says there was confusion. You have people who live in one municipality, drive through another, work in another, and a lot of them were confused about what exactly they were allowed to do. He says there should have been more information out there.
When people have information, it helps them deal with some of their worries and some of their concerns, because and that's what affects people most, their fear of those things that they don't know about. And could cause a lot of problems.
The city insists it was doing the best it could, dealing with 80 media requests during the state of emergency and almost daily updates from the mayor. Its focus was on getting the streets cleared as quickly as possible. Now, there was confusion about things like grocery stores. People were told to stock up because they might only be open for one day, only to find out it was in fact open again the next day. And Breen says that's just the challenge of making decisions day by day when you're in a state of emergency.
We didn't know we could open it again the next day because we didn't know what we were going to be facing the next day. So if we hadn't taken that opportunity on the first day, and then we weren't able to have the opportunity to open on the next day, then we wouldn't have had the grocery stores open at all. So what we did is we gave them the best advice we could at the time, was to get 48 hours worth, and the next day we were able to open, and so that was good for the people who may not have been able to get the food the day before.
The city is still in the middle of trying to deal with all the snow. In total, more than 5,000 dump truck loads have now been dumped in clear spaces around the city and into the harbor. The city is expecting that by this evening, the more than 3,000 fire hydrants should all be dug out. But when it comes to what this all is costing, the mayor says they haven't had a chance yet to even take a moment and add it all up. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Peter Cowan for Here and Now.
It's not like in prison everyone's sitting around talking about how they want to be rehabilitated. It's more a talk of like what crimes they're gonna do when they get out. Unless you want actual change yourself, it doesn't make a difference.
Newfoundlanders in China are among the people who are concerned about the unfolding health crisis there, numerous deaths, and an alarming infection rate. Chris Walsh left St. John's with his wife and son so they could be closer to his wife's family, and we've reached him in Xi'an. So, Chris, I understand, obviously, you've got a mask on. You have some flu-like symptoms?
Yeah, I had, honestly, a lot of flu-like symptoms. It was kind of scary. I had about almost all of the symptoms from the coronavirus, minus the shortness of breath. So I was very, very worried today.
Right, so obviously, given the situation, it might cause a little bit of panic. What did you do?
Well, they said if you've experienced this many symptoms and your fever was above 38 degrees to go to the hospital. So that's where we went. I was afraid I had the coronavirus.
So when you got to the hospital, I mean, as you know, sometimes people get infected when they go to hospitals. How did you feel going to the hospital?
That was scary in itself because it's a lose-lose situation. If I don't have it, I could contract it while I'm there, and I was so weak. My wife, I tried to tell her I could go alone, but I really couldn't, especially with my Chinese skills are really not that good to be in a medical situation on my own. So I was really scared to put my wife in that situation, and then again our son if we catch it. When I was in line, there were Wuhan people in line right ahead of me.
Right, so there were actually people from the infection zone that were in the same hospital as you?
Yes, I had to wait in line behind two of them. While we were being interviewed, we were still together. Then they sent them to a higher quarantine zone.
Right, so I guess the good news we should let viewers know, it was determined you only have the flu, right? You do not have the coronavirus.
Yes, correct. They did some lung scans. They did a CT scan on my brain, my lungs, my throat, many things to check. And they said the scans were okay. They determined that it should be just the stomach flu.
So kind of a mixed blessing. You must have been relieved, though, when they told you it wasn't coronavirus.
Yes, I've never said, thank God I have the stomach flu before, but that's what it was today. Thank God I have the stomach flu.
Give me a sense of what the mood is like there. Obviously, you have the expat community of which you were a part. You're married to a Chinese woman.
It's very stressful. People are scared. Most people are abiding by the government's orders to isolate themselves and stay in their houses, but some people aren't. And also, I work with a lot of foreigners, and our employer expects us to go back to work at this point on February 3rd, but the numbers of infected keep rising, and the other foreigners are very upset. They've canceled the classes for the children, but they want us to go out on public transportation to the school and deliver the online classes, and just very upsetting for my coworkers and I.
So do you wear that mask when you go out?
Absolutely, yes. And it's actually mandatory depending on where you are. If
Right.
you go on the bus, if you go on the subway, they won't let you on. There are some people who get in arguments and fights with bus drivers and police sometimes if they don't want to wear a mask. I think
Right.
there's been an instance of, and you have to show ID at these places.
So there's obviously almost like checkpoints given this sort of situation. Let me ask you this question. Why don't you just come home to Newfoundland?
Well, I would like to, but I think the fears of the airports are just as bad as well. A lot of people in the family disagree what's the best option for us, whether to come home or to avoid the airport and just stay inside. So at this point, I'm sick myself, so I'm not sure I can make the flight.
They might not let you on. Listen, I know you're not well, and I appreciate you, given all the time zone difference, actually coming on here and now tonight. Good luck. It's obviously a very stressful situation, and hopefully we'll stay in touch. Thank you, Chris.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too. There are questions about Ottawa's plans to bring Canadians home from the Wuhan area. It came up when Prime Minister Justin Trudeau dropped by an auto parts plant in Ontario today. Now, Trudeau says the timing of a Canadian evacuation flight is still up in the air, but he insists the health and safety of Canadians remains paramount.
We are looking at giving the support we can to people who need it. Obviously, it involves working with the Chinese government, it involves looking at what partners around the world are doing. We're working very closely with the WHO to ensure that Canada is being responsible in its approach.
I camp here in Pippi in the summer, so we use this park all year round.
A lot of people put their life on hold last week when the big storm shut down much of the East Coast. But now, with life back to normal and lots of snow out there, outdoor activities are on the rise.
A village in an outport, Victoria's Heritage Village, one of Newfoundland's best-kept secrets. Victoria's Hidden Gem, Sunday at noon and Monday at 7.
Well, for those of us whose exercise was shoveling of late, many might be cursing the snow, but lots of people are loving it. At Pippi Park in St. John's, for instance, fat biking, snowshoeing, and cross-country skiing. For those people, they are thrilled with what Mother Nature has dropped this winter, and we stopped by to take a look for ourselves.
Conditions are wonderful here with all this fresh snow. All of our trails are up and running. They've been groomed out the last few days since Saturday, and the skiing is fabulous. We have a team of people here at the lodge that work through things. So we have our grooming team that were out on Saturday and Sunday and got the trails back up and running. And then we have employees in the lodge who were shoveling out snow and getting the building ready to be open for our rental programs. So it took a couple of days after the state of emergency, but we pulled together and got it done. Anytime we get nice snow, it brings people out. The weather's been wonderful. The park has been very busy this weekend and all week, and our rental program was booming last night.
I camp here in Pippi in the summer, so we use this park all year round. And often, you know, in the winter in Newfoundland, the snow comes and then it goes and it comes and it goes. But we've had such a great stretch of having snow here that we can get out and enjoy the activity. So I'm trying to get as much in as I can while the snow is here. I would have liked to have been up here before when there was more powder, but it was still awesome. The conditions are awesome. They're awesome today, and as long as this weather continues, they'll be awesome for a while.
Getting outside is difficult this time of year, I think, but if you sort of embrace the snow, you can find a lot of fun things to do with it. Great exercise, skiing, snowshoes. There's a lot more people snowshoeing up here than I've ever seen before, so that's great.
The last couple years have not been great for us. We haven't had very much snow, so this year we're really looking forward to a nice long winter season.
The guy Peter makes skate skiing look so easy. Fabulous to live in a city that's got a park smack in the middle of it. Now, to other news. According to the federal government, Canada needs a healthy journalism sector to maintain a healthy democracy. And that means strong, reliable media outlets. This minister says the CBC is among the most important of these.
After Google, Facebook, and I believe Yahoo, CBC and Radio-Canada is the fourth most viewed source of information by Canadians, by far the most trusted, and we need trust in this day and age of high level of skepticism and even cynicism.
Now, the minister made the remarks at a conference of leaders in the fields of media production, broadcast, television, and feature film. Now, Guilbeault called the national broadcaster an essential component of Canadian society. Yesterday, an independent panel recommended that the CBC drop all advertising and become solely funded by the federal government. Another popular retail chain appears to be in trouble. La Senza was founded in Quebec and now has more than 300 stores around the world. But some suppliers claim that the company owes a lot of money. And as Jacqueline Hansen reports, they're trying to push the chain into bankruptcy.
On Instagram, La Senza is gearing up for Valentine's Day. But behind the scenes, things are heating up in a far different way. Some suppliers for the retailer claim it's not paying its bills and are asking a U.S. judge to force La Senza into bankruptcy.
So they're trying to push the company in with the sole purpose of getting their money back.
Founded in Quebec, La Senza has been selling lingerie to young shoppers for almost 30 years. The company was bought by the U.S. owner of Victoria's Secret in 2007, but when Victoria's Secret sales slumped, it sold off La Senza to a private equity firm. Part of the deal was that the new owner would prove it could pay for future merchandise, but that allegedly hasn't happened. According to court documents, one of La Senza's suppliers, MGF, also claims La Senza owes over $41 million in payments for goods, and that MGF demanded La Senza stop selling its goods and return them, but it says La Senza has not done so.
You know, where there's smoke, there could be some fire, and this in itself is going to cause a panic with any other La Senza suppliers who may not be in this position to sort of pique their interest now and either ask for cash up front or charge La Senza more because they're ensuring they're receivable. So either way, it's not a good thing.
CBC has reached out to La Senza and the firm that owns it for a response, but we haven't heard back. Regardless, the future is uncertain for yet another well-known retailer in malls across this country. Jacqueline Hansen, CBC News, Toronto.
The weather update is brought to you by Belltone, your partner in better hearing.
Okay, Ashley, is it just me, or has there been a bit of meteorological fear-mongering? People tell me, oh, you're getting all this snow on the weekend, Anthony, you poor so-and-so.
This morning, I walked in, didn't even have my jacket off, and everybody was like, what's going to happen on Saturday? Or
So
Sunday,
true.
rather. Oh,
So
geez,
I've got
it was funny.
A friend of mine, who shall remain nameless, Walter, my whole snowblower has been serviced.
Okay.
Transmission, oil,
Okay.
new chute put in. So I'm
Wow.
ready. But now you're going to tell me we're not getting that? You don't think?
It completely depends on where you are. There's still so much uncertainty, and actually more uncertainty than there normally is.
Okay.
This, I know we're still pretty far out, but at this point,
It might
they
be
start
rain,
to
though, right?
go. Yes, so that's what it's looking like. I'll certainly get into those details
Okay.
in a few minutes, but let's talk about Saturday first.
Okay.
Because we do have a couple of days to get there.
Sure.
It's actually going to be quiet. So, yes. So it's going to be good. Although it will be a little bit chilly. Still looking at the chance of a few flurries for the eastern portion, well, at least the Avalon, through the day on Saturday. But we should see some sunshine. -7 will be the afternoon high, and then looking at minus single digits across the west coast up through Lab City. Again, temperatures have been sitting there minus teens for you for the last little bit, so they're going to stay there with plenty of sunshine up through Labrador. Now, here's what I'm talking about when I say there's a lot of spread in the model data. So here's the two areas. These are two different computer models. One's the European model, one's the GFS model. And you can see that the center of the low is in two very different places, and that's really a cone of where this potentially could make where it tracks, rather. With that, I'll give you an idea of what the models are pointing at. This isn't a forecast. This is just our guidance. This is what we use to determine what's going to happen as far as those how much snow is going to fall or where those rain snow lines are going to be. So this is one of them. This is the track that will be further west, and with that we're going to see it potentially, more than likely, going to see a changeover for central and then the parts of eastern, with the west coast generally staying on the cold side of this low, which means you'll probably see most of the snow. Now here's another idea of what's going to happen, and this is the model that's tracking it a little bit further west, so rather east. That means that line, that changeover line, will track further east. So that's up to be determined yet at this point. Again, the strongest or heaviest snow looks like it should fall anywhere on the west coast at this point, with a changeover through a section of central and then eastern Newfoundland. We could pick up some heavier snow before that happens. It'll happen very quickly. And then once that moves off and changes over to rain, we'll see potentially quite a bit of rain with that as well. So we do still have tomorrow. I'll try and nail down some numbers for you, but that's what it's looking like as of now. So here's your temperatures. By Sunday, we're looking at about 3 degrees. So hence that change over to rain. Probably going to see some rain continuing through the day on Monday as we hover around the 0 degree mark, and then back down below 0 by Tuesday. So everything that does fall will more than likely freeze. For central Newfoundland, have you in the rain, or in the snow rather, for now, changing over Sunday night into Monday. And the other thing to note with this is it will be pretty windy as well. So definitely going to keep an eye on that one. Sunday and Monday for western Newfoundland, again, you're going to stay on the snowy side with your temperatures below 0 across the board. Eastern Labrador, you're looking at temperatures pretty much staying the same through the next week or so. Not really getting into the snow activity. Maybe southeastern portions will see some snow, but other than that, not a whole lot going on. And then for western Labrador, you're looking at some sunshine right through Sunday, and then that potential for some flurries and or snow will move in for both Monday and Tuesday. So I showed you a picture of
that's a nice
what
one.
I thought was an eagle last time, but it wasn't. It was a duck.
That is the famous white-headed gander duck.
That's right.
Yeah. Got to make up
Hilarious.
for the last time someone put a bird in a photo.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll tell you where this is too when we come back.
Okay, wind down the show now with an animal that often appears in the last 3 minutes of Here Now.
That's true,
Right?
yeah. 2 panda cubs have met their, or had made their debut, rather, at a Berlin zoo.
The 5-month-old twins stumbled a little bit, but they managed to regain their footing. Check this out. Now, who doesn't love panda videos? Look at those creatures. The siblings were born on August 31st. They now weigh about 10 kilos each. And their parents arrived in Germany 2 years ago as part of a loan agreement with China. They are adorable, right? What is it about pandas?
I don't know, because they're just so cute. Look
I
at
know, but they'll still rip your face off.
I
but
know.
The twins, they're going to move to China when they're about 4 years old. There are fewer than 2,000 pandas living in their natural habitat, which is one of the reasons the Chinese donate them all around the world to try to increase this number of species. Yeah. They're adorable though, right?
It's the same with polar bears. Polar bears are gorgeous, but they're...
Don't get too close?
No,
Right.
not a good idea.
The U.S. National Solar Observatory's new solar telescope in Hawaii has captured the most detailed look ever at the surface of the sun.
It looks like a kaleidoscope. Yeah, the bubbling you're seeing here is superheated plasma on the sun's surface.
And as it hits about 6,000 degrees.
Wow.
It rises to the surface and then it sinks as it cools, and the molten cells shown here, they are about half the size of Quebec. Yeah, that's pretty warm and big. The sun's magnetic eruptions can lead to power blackouts and disrupted satellite transmissions to us here on the Earth.
Didn't it look like a kaleidoscope?
It did, yep.
It's been a while since I looked through
or
one of
creme
those.
brulee.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
Is that eagle real?
I don't know. I won't question it. I definitely won't question it. It was taken in Northern Bay on the Avalon, and Eugene sent us great photos there. Thank you so much, Eugene Howell, for sending that photo in. And if you have any weather photos that you'd like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Okay, Eugene, I want to see the negatives. Of course, only people of a certain generation even know what that means.
Regardless,
but,
it was a great photo.
It's a beautiful photo. I believe it was real. I was only kidding. All right. Tomorrow, Friday already. We'll see you then.
See ya. Good night.